Critiques 2A, domain and range of discrete functions. So these are the notes that we're going to do today. First, I want to define what domain and range is. So when we're looking at a graph, domain is going to be the x values. So that's what I'm going to write here, x values. And then the range is going to be the y values. So when we are talking about discrete functions versus continuous functions, discrete functions are points. So that's the most important thing I want you to remember, is that they are points. So on a graph, they are points that are not connected. Points that are not connected, and I'm going to underline are not connected. Okay, so let's look at some examples. So the first example I have is this first graph here. Okay, notice this is a discrete graph because of all the points, and they are not connected. So what I'm going to do real quick is I'm going to label these points. So this point here is going to be 1, 3. Remember, we always label it x, y. So 1, 3. This one is 2, 1. This one is 4, 2. This one is 5, 0. This one's 6, 6. And then this one is 3, -1. Okay. So once I label all my points, I want to double check if this is a function. So remember, on a graph, we can test the vertical line test. So let me grab a different color. And I'm just going to draw vertical lines through these points. So here's one. See, that only went through 1 point. This one only went through 1 point. And this one only went through 1 point. So since it only went through 1 point, that means this is a function. So I'm going to go down here where it says domain and range. And right here, I'm going to put that it is a function. So function. Okay. So for the domain, remember I said domain is all the x values. So I'm going to look up here and I'm going to list all my x values. So remember, I do that little curly bracket to tell you that this is a set of points. And then I'm going to just write all the x values. So this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. And I'm getting all these x values right here from these points. So here's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay. Same with range. I'm going to do all the y values. So right here I have 3, 1, -1, 0, 2, 6. So I'm going to write all those out. So 3, 1, -1, 2, 0, 6. That's the range. So I took all the x values, then I took all the y values. Okay. So let's look at example 2 right here. Example 2, notice that they already labeled our points for us, which makes it a lot easier. We don't have to do that step. So real quick, I'm going to just double check if this is a function. So I'm going to do my vertical line test. Test it a couple places. Notice in each place it only crossed 1 time. So that means this is a function. So I'll write down here, I'm going to write function. Then I'm going to write my domains. And remember, my domains are all my x values. So on my graph, I have a -2, a 0, a 2, and a 4. So that's what I'm going to write. -2, 0, 2, and 4. That's my domain, all my x values. Okay, so now I'm going to look at all my y values. So here I have 0, 6, 12, and 18. So I'm going to write that down, 0, 6, 12, and 18. And then I found my range, all my y values. And that's all we're going to practice doing today. We are going to practice knowing that domain belongs to the x's and range belongs to the y's.